Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've all been keeping well. I shall apologise for my brief leave of absence, but I am bringing you another video today. And quite, you could say, suspected, it's another dinosaur video. And the lovely dinosaur we're featuring today is the beautiful, gorgeous Ceratosaurus, which translates to horned lizard. Ceratosaurus was a large predatory theropod that hunted during the Jurassic period, and it was quite a successful predator at the time. Well, Ceratosaurus stalked the Jurassic landscape some 153 to 148 million years ago, and Ceratosaurus would have been found roaming the Earth in North America and some regions on the European continent, and really presented a most fearsome sight if any poor little herbivores crossed paths of it. Originally, Ceratosaurus was estimated to have reached about 6 metres in length, this being about 18 feet long, but new specimens recently brought forward and discovered by science now predict the size was actually, with some larger estimates on species, closer to 7.5 metres, being about 21 to 23 point long. So it was quite a hefty dinosaur. Ceratosaurus is estimated about half the weight of the Jurassic quite famous predator known as Allosaurus, with the weight being about 524 kilograms, with upper estimates for the Ceratosaurus species placing it closer to a tonne. I'll just take a breath after that. Those lovely statistics for you. But on another little side note, Ceratosaurus was definitely a carnivorous theropod and would have fed on poor herbivorous dinosaurs. But it wasn't the largest theropod of its time, so it most likely would have been an opportunistic scavenger. Well, Ceratosaurus was first discovered in what is known now as the Cleveland-Lloyd dinosaur quarry in central Utah, and a dry mesh quarry in Colorado. The species was originally described by Charles Nathaniel Marsh in 1884, and just a little side note, Charles Nathaniel Marsh was a rather famous paleontologist who made a number of different discoveries, and was also the paleontologist that I talked about in my last video, who discovered the famous dinosaur Triceratops. Ceratosaurus was also redescribed by a paleontologist known as Gilmore in the 1920s, and this separate subspecies, or species of Ceratosaurus, was known as Ceratosaurus naconicus. There you go, ladies and gents. Anyway, we have a fun facts section, ladies and gents, what I suppose you're used to by now, but here are some delicious chunky facts for you to enjoy. Ceratosaurus was the first known dinosaur to actually feature in a live action movie, being Brute Force in 1914. It's actually quite surprising considering Ceratosaurus is I've been into paleontology, consider it a famous dinosaur, but a lot of people wouldn't have heard of it. You would have heard of probably species like Stegosaurus, Triceratops, Velociraptor and T-Rex, so it's quite unusual that this was the first dinosaur in a live action production. The actual nasal horn of Ceratosaurus was probably more used for display rather than protection or possibly as a weapon, so I don't think overall the bone structure of it was powerful enough to really be used effectively in that manner. And Ceratosaurus lived at the same time as another famous dinosaur by the name of Allosaurus, and possibly scavenged over the leftovers of Allosaurus meals. Here are some lovely anatomical displays for you, ladies and gents. The nasal horn of Ceratosaurus was much more likely used for display purposes, such as attracting females during the mating season, rather than actually being used as for protective measures, but I said that in a previous little section with the fun facts. Ceratosaurus actually possessed quite large powerful jaws with blade-like serrated teeth which would have made very short work of unsuspecting herbivores. Other notable features of Ceratosaurus included a blade-like horn located on the snout, and a pair of hornlets over the eyes. The forelimbs were powerful but very short overall, so they a bit balanced out by how short they were to how powerful. And the pelvic bones I should say, were fused together, which is very similar to modern day birds, perhaps showing more of the correlation between dinosaur species and modern bird species. Well, for poor little Allosaurus, in terms of the actual Jurassic ecological food chain, it was slightly stuffed. There were two larger carnivores by the time, and they went by the names of Allosaurus, also known as the Lion of the Jurassic, which I quote it as, and Torvosaurus. These were most likely the top predators at the time within North America. It's believed that Ceratosaurus was actually more specialised, and most likely fed on prey such as crocodiles, fish, and occasionally smaller dinosaurs, as it was actually well built for swimming. Ceratosaurus fossils are far less common than Allosaurus and Torvosaurus fossils, indicating it was a much rarer species at the time. This is perhaps due to its specialised nature, as often specialised animal species are far more susceptible to change and have trouble adapting to it. Here's just a little bit of trivia for you. Ceratosaurus did feature in the possibly the worst, well no, not possibly, it is the worst Jurassic Park film by the name of Jurassic Park 3, which Jurassic Park actually got something right for once, because they actually featured a Jurassic period dinosaur in a Jurassic Park film, because Ceratosaurus was in fact from the Jurassic period, while you have other such dinosaurs such as, I know, Tyrannosaurus Rex and Velociraptor and Triceratops, which are all from the Cretaceous period, as well as Spinosaurus, which is in Jurassic Park 3, that is also from the Cretaceous period. On another note, Ceratosaurus' brief little cameo in Jurassic Park 3 included it approaching Dr. Grant and the Kirby family, thinking it was perhaps getting some cheeky nom-noms, when in fact it was actually scared off by the large amount of Spinosaurus done in the area, which I don't really blame it for retreating. Well, Ceratosaurus was certainly a dangerous Jurassic predator, but it was probably outmatched by other large Jurassic predators, such as Allosaurus and the Torvosaurus that I mentioned. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm sorry for the brief few days of absence in between videos. As always, feel free to comment and voice your opinion, and like or dislike the video, depending on if you find me very soothing and a nice little narrator, or you find me a pain in the arse. But overall, I hope you enjoyed the video. Join the Raptor Pack today by subscribing, and have an amazing or lovely day wherever you are. Goodbye for now.